So when you walk into a space, the decisions people make and how they behave when they talk to your folks, right? When somebody engages with any one of your employees, how they engage, the decision that person made and how they were going to engage with a particular client has to do with how they feel about how they work and the people they work with. It all comes down to what kind of relationships am I having that are getting the results. So you might ask, all right, so how we build better relationships, right? So simple, so simple. Number one, as a leader in your bit, not just in your business, but in the business of people who are listening to this podcast is, do I know who my employees really are? Like, do I understand their hobbies, their families? And it seems like it's so like old school stuff, but really it does matter, right? How often do I engage with them, particularly now when they're not in office? Are we slacking or messaging often? In my one-on-ones, do I make time to find out about what's going on for them in their life, right? What, not just at work, but what extracurricular things are they doing? Do I actually come back to the meeting, literally a month or 2 months later and go, hey, how was that game you did a couple of months ago? Or how was that game you did last week? And how did you guys win? Like, what happened? Knowing about your employee matters tremendously because they can then feel valued and seen, right? Do I spend time also engaging with them to help them in their own career, in their own development? Hey, listen, you have your goals for the quarter, but here's also the goals that you want to think about for your own personal development, right? And that's, again, leader to employee. And there's other things people can do.
It's funny. I always look for things as you're speaking. I'm thinking about this that are the right thing to do, but also the right thing for the business. Because those are easy. Those are easy decisions. And what you're describing is just care about people.
At its core.
Like at its core,
Yes.
it's like find out how people are doing. Give them a little bit of your time, your most valuable resource, which is time. Find out how they're doing. Remember something about them.
Yeah.
Care enough about them to remember. Like that's authenticity that I think everyone's craving because many relationships in the workplace
Yes.
tend to err on the side of transactional, especially in the COVID environment when you're
Yes.
the only time you talk to anybody is because you set up a Zoom meeting. So you don't have all that
Yep.
water cooler talk about family and stuff like that. But we talk about that a lot here. It's like engagement is just relationships. Have a real,
Yes.
genuine relationship with someone, whether it be a client or a coworker. It's not about snacks. It's not about the free beer on tap or the kind bars and the kombucha. It's like care about that person. Because I've been in both. I've been in some organizations, and I think we are this way, fortunately, where like the team genuinely cares about each other. And you can just stop there. It's probably going to be okay because we genuinely care about each other. I've also been in startups that have every free snack in the world. Everybody's got a huge monitor. It's amazing.
That's exactly it.
But the culture's rotten because no one cares about each other. So at the end of the day, it's just caring about each other. When I hear you saying that stuff, I'm like, yeah,
Christian, this
you're
is
right.
literally
It's caring about people.
scientifically proven that all those things you just talked about, those extracurricular stuff or extra stuff, creates a little bit of job satisfaction. Like, yeah, I'm satisfied being here, right? But am I happy? Meaning, I really feel a sense of progress. And here's the thing. Because when you create strong relationships, those strong relationships are the things that help your team get through difficult times, right? To progress through challenges. In fact, here's another just blows my mind. Happiness does not lie in an external thing that happens later. It's right now getting through a challenging situation. It may not be happy or fun, but man, love that our team is connected on this issue. We're figuring out how to stop. That's where happiness lies. It's in the progress, not in the result. It's in the progress.
Well, see, I wrote about this. We did a podcast, and I have a blog post about this. About one of the things we do here at Risk 360 is we intentionally create opportunities for shared adversity. And some of the ways we do that is we run a 100-mile relay race every year together. And not everyone runs, but everyone comes. So some people are just handling snacks and support. Some people show up at the finish line. A handful of people take the challenge on of actually running it. But every year, that group who did that thing, they'll talk about it for years. Like you'll see them at the grocery store, and that's the thing you remember. And I can tell you a story. Like one of our most introverted guys named Phil, he's a genius, but he was in charge of driving the RV back and forth like the 100 miles, sleep deprived, driving this RV, and he starts singing a Pearl Jam song as he's driving. And we're like, Phil, this introverted guy that we all love, but he's like blowing it out of the water. And anybody who's there for that, like knows Phil for that and will know him for that for life. But that's that shared adversity. It was hard. It was a 24-hour event, But it's just we don't have those opportunities in life very often. So it's those hard projects that you remember.
Like literally, as you were saying that, I was
100-mile relay
goosebumps
race that
because
you
Phil.
remember.
Now here we
but
are.
People
I don't
care
know,
about
you
each
know,
other
Phil,
and they form those bonds. I think that's huge.
remember him in that freaking RV running back and forth hundreds of miles, no sleep, etc., and then bringing out Pearl Jam. Here's the thing: through adversity, people transform themselves, and even better, bring out parts of themselves that you never knew about to help. That truly is getting to a place where you have not just somebody who wants to be at work, but they truly love and enjoy what they do. And then here's the crazy thing: is when we've had that feeling of high elevated mood and feeling sense of connectedness and like we belong and sense of belonging, we find ways to solve problems that we didn't think we could. Back to your brain will help you solve problems when it is engaged in a feeling of overall joy and happiness. Your brain kicks in to tell Phil, hey, here's what you got to do. Because while he was doing all that and sleep deprived, what was driving him is a sense of overall purpose and really wanting to